Hi boys and girls, this is Mr. Anderson again. Hope everyone's doing well. I'd like for you to go ahead and open up your packet to this page right here, the Lesson 3 Sprint. I want you to make sure that you have a pencil and you have a phone or a timer that you can use to do your work today. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and get your materials ready. Once you have your materials ready, we're going to do the sprint just like we did yesterday. Remember, we're going to solve these problems as quickly as we can in the fastest amount of time, and then we're going to write our time either down here where there's a blank space or right up here where there's a blank space. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video. I want you to set your timer and then solve all these questions as quickly as possible. Before you grade these, I want you to remember that we're not checking to make sure you got every single last one of them correct. We just want to make sure that we're having improvement. So I'd like for you to go through, double check all of your work. When you figure out what you got correct, I want you to put that right there at the line that says number correct. We have 44 questions today. Let's pretend that I got 30 of them correct. So I would put 30 here. And then underneath there's a line that says improvement. If I got 25 correct yesterday, that means today I got 5 more correct than I did yesterday. This is what we're going to be looking for more than anything else is your improvement, to see if you're getting better when you're doing your math or if you're having a little bit of a difficult time. So we want to make sure that our improvement is going up every single day, even if it's only going up by 5 questions or even 1 question. We want to make sure we're always getting better. So I want you to pause the video, make sure that you are going through and being honest with your answers, write down the number that you got correct, and I want you to write down your improvement as well. When you're finished with the sprint, we're going to open up to this page right here for the word problems. You know you're on the right page if the first question starts with Laura and her marbles. I want you to make sure your name and date is on the top of this page. We're going to talk about the first question together, and then I want you to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all on your own. We're not going to do the next page because we're going to save that for tomorrow, so we're just going to finish this page up today. This is the first question. Laura has 124 marbles. 47 of the marbles are blue. How many marbles are not blue? Just like last time, we're going to use the cubes method to solve this problem. With cubes, we'll start with C, circle the numbers. When I read through this, I can identify 124 pretty quickly. That's one of my numbers. Now, the other number is actually in written form. It's the number 47. So be careful because they may try to trick you with that, and you might skip over that without even realizing that's a number. So make sure you're reading carefully the question and finding all of those numbers. Next, we're going to do U, which is underline the question. So I'm going to read through this again and identify what my question is. Laura has 124 marbles. 47 of the marbles are blue. How many marbles are not blue? I know this is my question because it's got a question mark at the end. Next, B stands for box in the keywords. I want to look for some words that tell me what type of addition or subtraction problem that I'm doing here. Laura has 124 marbles, so that's the total amount of marbles that she has right here. 47 of the marbles are blue. So we know 47 of them are blue out of the 124. It asks us how many of the marbles are not blue. So that's a big blank question right there. I'm not really sure what other number I need. Now this is going to require a little bit of thinking because this question really does not have any keywords that tell me if I'm doing more or less. So I have to think about this. I have a question mark. I have a number here that I don't know. And then I'm either going to add or subtract 47 to get to 124. So if I read back through the question, it says Laura has 124 marbles. That's how many she has altogether. We've got that. 47 of the marbles are blue. We've got that. How many of the marbles are not blue? So if I only have 47 out of my 124 here, that means I'm going to add something else to get all the way up to 124. We have to be very careful when we are reading these questions because they're tricky sometimes and we may not have, it may not look like we have all the information we need, but if we read carefully, we can find everything that we need. Next, we're going to look at E, eliminate what we don't need. Remember, those things are like people's names or the objects that they have. Those are not really necessary. And finally, S stands for solve the problem. Now, at this point, this is when we would usually write our number sentence, but we already wrote that down when we were trying to find the key words earlier. So this is what our number sentence is going to look like. So this is our number sentence right here. We're not sure what one of our numbers is. We're going to add what we don't know, plus 47 equals 124. This looks confusing at first, but if we use the correct method, we can solve this one pretty quickly. Using a number line is probably the best method that we can use to solve a question where we're not sure what one of the numbers that we are adding is. So what I'm going to do, and what I'd like for you to do as well, is we're going to write the total number of marbles that we have, which is 124 right here, and then we're going to have the number that we start with, 47. All we're going to do is we're going to count on until we get to 124. If we do it correctly, we should have that missing addend, is what we call that number that's missing there. We should have that missing addend, and we should be able to solve our question correctly. Just like all the other times when we add, we're going to start with our hundreds, then our tens, then our ones. I'm going to look and I'm going to decide if I need to add 100 to 47 to get close to 124. Well, I know if I add 100 to 47, it equals 147, and that's a little bit more than 124. So instead of doing hundreds, I'm going to start with tens. So I'm going to do 47 plus 10. That's going to be 57, plus 10, that's going to be 67, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Now wait a second. If I add 10 more to 117, this is going to get me to 127. But that's going to be a little bit too high for the number that I'm looking for. So instead of doing 10 more, I'm going to have to do some ones. I have 117, so now I'm going to add my ones up. Plus 1 is 118. Plus 1 equals 119. Whoops. 20. And I've run out of space here, but you know what I can do? I can see 120. I know for a fact all I need is 4 more ones to get to 124. So I'm going to make this easier on myself. I'm just going to add 4 more, because I know that gets me all the way up to 124. So now all I have to do is I take all my tens, put them together, take all my ones, put them together, and I'm going to figure out what I have all together. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and that's all my tens. 70. Next I have 1, 2, 3, and I've got 4 here. I know right off the top of my head, with doing quick math in my head, that 4 plus 3 equals 7. So I have 70 plus 7. 70 plus 7 equals 77. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose another method to solve, and I'm going to see if 77 plus 47 really does equal 124. That's how I'm going to check my work. For this part, I'm going to use my place value chart so that I can solve this and check my work and see if I get the same answer. If I add 77 plus 47 and I do get 124, I'll know that I did this correct. With my place value chart, all I'm going to do is put my tens and my ones into the chart because I don't have any hundreds. So if I look right here, I have 7 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I look at my next number, I have 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add my tens and my ones to see what I get. I'll start with my ones. I have 7 here, so that means I know all I have to do is count on. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I have a group of 10 right here, so that means I'm going to do what is called regrouping. So I'm going to regroup my group of 10 ones over to here to make one group of 10. Now I'm going to just add up the few remaining ones that I have right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ones. Now I'm going to add all my tens together. I know I have 7 at the very top, so 7 I'll count on. 8, 9, 10. Now this is a group of 10 as well, so I'm going to do something very similar to what I did with my group of 1. I'm going to take that group of 10, I'm going to regroup it over to the next part of the number line. This is our hundreds place. So now I'm just going to count the last tens that I have. 1, 2. There are 2 tens. Now I'm going to look at my hundreds place. It was empty to begin with, but now that I have something there, I'll count. I only have 100, so I'll put that right there. Is this number the same as this one? Then that means I did it correctly. That's all there is to it. I'd like for you to go through and do the rest of these questions just like the one we just did. If you need to rewind the video and double check, maybe you missed something, maybe you weren't quite paying attention enough and you didn't catch it the first time, that's okay. You can pause the video at any point if you need to walk through it a little bit slower. And if you still have any questions at the end of the day, you can email or you can message or get a hold of your teacher the best way that you can, and they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Hope you guys have a great day and you're staying safe.